for our peace of mind, because in your statement you don't explain what the reasons for those errors are. And maybe this is what has led to this suspicion that maybe you deliberately omitted information from ballistics reports, or you included misleading information in ballistics reports. So I'm hoping that you will give us an innocent explanation for these errors. What were the reasons for those errors? I mean, can you just explain to the Commission? Are they innocent, or were you really trying to sabotage the investigation into the murder of Mr. Swart?
Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioner, let me first go to the last one, the page 11, paragraph 44. Commissioners, paragraph 44 is the call that I received from witness B, that there is an error on the statement. It's not the error that I identified or someone else identified this. And there was no error that was corrected here. The witness B told me that there is an error. However, the main reason it was to call me out, not necessarily there was an error. As I indicated that it cannot be correct that witness B can come to my home for correction of error. So even the statement that the witness B had on that day was the last entry of the statement, which didn't have any error. That was the statement from the bullet from the body. So it is not correct to say this is paragraph 4 referred to an error. Paragraph 4, they were using the word error so that they can have me close to them. Because there is no any other way they can say, come, we want to see you. I will refuse. But when they say there is an error, this is my statement, there is an error and the statement is going to court, I get surprised. And when they say the case will be struck off the roll, then I stand up and say, let me meet the investigating officer, because we cannot afford to see criminals out on the street because I am on leave. But there was no error here for this paragraph.
The other three?
The first one, I think, is paragraph 34. Paragraph 34. Paragraph 34 is the procedure of the laboratory. Procedure of the laboratory is every case file, once finalized, once you have done working on it, it goes to review. And almost out of 10 cases that goes to the review, 8 will be back with errors for correction, without any deliberate to do anything for any analyst who is working at the lab. That can be caused by so many factors, including pressure and time. So, meaning, if this error was corrected and there were not any other error, the investigating officer were not even going to be aware that there was an error on the statement, because it will have been corrected. All of the statement passed through that route. So this is the normal operation of the ballistics. Then, when I go to the other mentioned errors which existed, whereby there were exchange of pages and what, that one, Commissioner, I can safely say those were typing errors, and those typing errors were supposed to be picked up at the reviewing process, but was not picked up at the reviewing process. I cannot indicate as to for what reason, but I can say it amounts to work pressure as well. Commissioners, before you type a statement, by nature, an expert is not a typist, but we are doing our own typing, and we are given 20 minutes to type a statement, regardless of how many pages the statement has. So possibility of errors will be there. But there is performance, because when you examine a case, you use the performance. The performance will have correct information. However, reducing that information into a typing is a separate thing. And when we are given 20 minutes to do that, typing errors do occur. That is why when there is an error, the first thing you do at the lab, when they say it's an error, even when it comes from the review, when they say you have written the wrong back number, you don't just change it. You go to your proforma to see exactly what handwritten on the proforma. Because when you open a case, you take a proforma, you take a case, you put it here. There is no typing there. You write the back number on a proforma. You write back number that you received. You write the contents, what is in the bag. Later on, you are done with the examination. You reduce that into writing, into typing, which is not your area of specialty. That is why always there will be an error on the typing side, not on the proforma side. And at all times, we accept those mistakes and we accept to make corrections, because the only thing that goes to court is not proformas now. It should be the 2-1-2 statement. And our system, commissioners at the lab, it doesn't accommodate members reviewing their own cases. Meaning, when you are done with typing, you are not given any further minutes to recheck your work. When they give you a case has got allocated a particular amount of time. Once they say you do this case, you are going to do this case because 10 minutes is for typing, 20 minutes is for typing, 2 hours is for examination, 10 minutes is for returning the firearms to the safe. Then the day is finished. So we do not focus on the quality, we focus on the quantity. And the whole reason why we focus on the quantity is not the correct thing, but is true. It's because of the number of cases we have versus the number of staff we have.
So it's innocent mistakes attributable to time pressures and work pressures and other things.
That's correct.
Nothing sinister, nothing malicious.
Nothing, commissioners.
Yes, Mr. Musegiri.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Just to piggyback from the exchange you had with Commissioner Khumalo on the what you attribute to these errors, and we would not want to assume, or at least peddle the belief that you deliberately manipulated the report. But for me, what I want to say to you is that the errors that you committed were quite material to the outcome of the matter cases. For example, the 3 errors that we spoke about. The first error is that you were asked by Warrant Officer Malan to say, link the murder weapon to the crime scene, and you failed to do that. So the report that you issued, it does not draw a link between the murder weapon and the murder scene. You accept that? As it stood, as you handed the first report to Witness B.
Commissioners, the first report, in respect of that error, doesn't say I didn't link the murder. because the murder weapon to the cartridge cases. Because we've got three type of results in respect of examination of a fired cartridge cases and a firearm. You've got either positive match, negative match, or inconclusive.
And in your case, you'd say it's what?
In my case, because I didn't mention 4.9, that doesn't mean I said negative. It doesn't relate to a negative finding. If you go to the annexure LIF,